The sound that comes out of you when something genuinely delights you, the specific, breathy, irregular pattern of human laughter, produces a behavioral shift in your dog that researchers have studied with far more precision than most owners realize. Tails begin to move differently. Dogs that were resting often get up. Some bring a toy over entirely unprompted. This is not simple noise-triggered alertness. There is a specific, identifiable behavioral and physiological response dogs show to the sound of human laughter, distinct from their response to other equally loud or sudden human vocalizations. And the research behind it touches on a deeper, evolutionarily old question about play, sound, and emotional contagion across species. Welcome to Hidden Paw Signals. I want to begin the way I always do. Everything you hear on this channel comes from my own personal process of reading, studying, and trying to understand the published science behind dog behavior. I am not a veterinarian, researcher, or certified animal behaviorist. This is one person's learning journey through the world of canine cognition, shared with you because the findings genuinely changed how I see my own dog. It is educational content only and is not veterinary or medical advice. If you want to keep learning about what is really happening inside your dog's mind, subscribe now because that is exactly what this channel is for. Foundational work in this area draws on research by neuroscientist Jacques Panksepp, who spent much of his career studying what he termed primary emotional systems in mammals, the deep, evolutionarily conserved neural circuits underlying core emotional and motivational states shared across many species, including humans, rodents, and by extension, dogs. Panksepp's earlier, widely cited research documenting that rats emit specific, high-frequency vocalizations during play and tickling, sounds he interpreted as a primitive form of rat laughter tied to a dedicated play circuit in the mammalian brain, opened the door to a broader scientific reconsideration of whether laughter-like responses and the neural systems underlying them might be far more widespread across the animal kingdom than previously assumed, rather than being a uniquely human phenomenon. Building on this foundation, more recent behavioral research specifically examining dogs and laughter has identified what researchers describe as a distinctive vocalization dogs themselves produce during play, a specific, breathy, forceful pant pattern, acoustically distinct from regular panting, that has been informally referred to in some of the research literature as a dog laugh. Work by animal behaviorist Patricia Simonet, conducted while she was researching at Sierra Nevada College, recorded and acoustically analyzed these play-specific panting vocalizations and found that recordings of this sound, when played back to dogs in shelter environments, produced measurable behavioral changes, including reduced stress-related behaviors, increased social approach and play solicitation behaviors directed toward other dogs and toward humans present in the room. What makes this research particularly relevant to understanding how dogs respond to human laughter specifically is the broader principle it establishes, that a specific, recognizable vocal pattern associated with positive social play and low-stress arousal can function as a social signal that other dogs recognize and respond to with a corresponding shift toward calmer, more socially engaged behavior. Human laughter shares several acoustic properties with this category of play vocalization, including irregular, breathy, repeated bursts of sound produced during moments of low-threat, high-positive arousal social engagement, which may explain why dogs appear to respond to human laughter with behavioral patterns that closely resemble their response to play-specific vocalizations from other dogs, rather than treating it as a generically alerting or neutral sound. This connects to the broader and increasingly well-documented phenomenon of emotional contagion between dogs and their owners, the tendency for one individual's emotional state to influence another, even in the absence of direct communication or shared understanding of the triggering event. Multiple studies examining physiological synchronization between dogs and owners, including research measuring simultaneous heart rate and cortisol patterns, have found that dogs show measurable physiological shifts in response to their owners' emotional displays, including positive ones. A relaxed, genuinely joyful owner producing spontaneous laughter appears to function as a strong, positive social signal that dogs are specifically attuned to detect and respond to, distinct from their response to other loud or sudden human vocalizations that do not carry the same acoustic and contextual signature of positive social engagement. Before we continue, an important pause. As always, what I share here reflects my own personal reading of published research and is offered for education only, not professional advice. It is not veterinary or medical guidance. If your dog shows fear or anxiety in response to laughter or other loud vocalizations, rather than the engaged, positive response described in this research, please consult your local veterinarian or a certified professional trainer, as individual dogs vary considerably, and some may have had different prior experiences that shape their specific response to loud or sudden human sounds.
There is a useful distinction the research draws between genuine spontaneous laughter and other forms of loud human vocalization, such as shouting or sudden exclamations of frustration. While both can be acoustically loud and sudden, they differ substantially in their broader acoustic structure, their accompanying body language, and critically, in the broader emotional and contextual signals surrounding them, including facial expression, posture, and the overall tone of the interaction. Dogs appear highly capable of distinguishing between these categories, responding to genuine positive laughter with approach and engagement behaviors, while showing markedly different, often more cautious or avoidant responses to vocalizations associated with anger, frustration, or conflict, even when the raw volume of the two types of sound is comparable. This sensitivity to the difference between positive and negative human vocal expression connects to broader research on how dogs process the emotional content of human voices generally, including work from the Eötvös-Loránd University Research Group studying voice-sensitive brain regions in dogs, which found that dogs' brains showed differentiated responses to vocalizations carrying different emotional tones, independent of the specific words or sounds being used. This body of work collectively suggests that dogs are not simply reacting to volume or suddenness when they respond to your laughter. They appear to be processing a recognizable emotional and acoustic category, positive, play-associated vocalization, that triggers a behavioral response shaped by both their evolutionary history as a highly social species and their specific individual history of positive associations built with you. What I find genuinely moving about this research in my own process of learning through it is what it suggests about the depth of emotional resonance possible between two such different species. Your laughter is not simply noise to your dog, tolerated or ignored. It appears to function as a genuine social signal, one that taps into ancient, shared mammalian circuitry related to play and positive social engagement, producing a real, measurable shift in their behavior and very plausibly their internal emotional state as well. The dog who gets up, tail moving, bringing a toy over the moment you start laughing at something on your phone, is not behaving randomly. They are responding in a way that current research increasingly supports to a genuine cross-species signal of joy.
As I always want to close with, everything shared here is part of my own learning process and is offered for education and reflection only. It is not professional veterinary or behavioral advice. If you have any concern about your dog's health or behavior, please consult a qualified local veterinarian who knows your individual dog. No video can replace that relationship. This is part of what makes the bond between dogs and humans feel, to so many owners, like something more than simple companionship. The science continues to suggest that it is built, in part, on genuine shared emotional circuitry rather than on observation and mimicry alone, a foundation considerably older and deeper than the relatively short span of any single dog's individual lifetime with you. There is a final thought worth carrying from this research into ordinary daily life. So much of how we think about communicating with our dogs focuses on deliberate signals, the specific words we train, the particular tones we use intentionally to convey approval or correction. This research is a reminder that some of the most powerful signals you send your dog may be the ones you never intended as communication at all. The unguarded, spontaneous sound of your own genuine joy, which appears to reach your dog through a pathway far older and, in its own way, far more honest than anything either of you ever deliberately trained. There is also a useful comparative dimension worth understanding, drawing on Panksepp's broader body of work characterizing play circuitry across mammalian species. Panksepp argued, based on decades of research into the neurobiology of play behavior across rodents and other mammals, that the neural systems underlying play and the vocalizations associated with it are among the most evolutionarily ancient and broadly conserved emotional circuits in the mammalian brain, present in some recognizable form across an unusually wide range of species. If this framework is correct, dogs' resonance towards human laughter may reflect something considerably deeper than learned association built purely within an individual dog's own lifetime. It may reflect a much older, evolutionarily inherited sensitivity to the acoustic signature of positive social play, one that human laughter happens to share enough structural similarity with to reliably trigger. It is also worth considering what this research suggests about the broader emotional texture of daily life shared between dogs and their owners. Moments of genuine laughter are by their nature relatively brief and spontaneous, difficult to manufacture convincingly, and therefore a reasonably honest signal of real emotional state in the person producing them. If dogs are specifically attuned to detecting and responding to this particular acoustic and emotional signature, distinct from more performative or routine vocal expressions, it suggests that the genuinely joyful, unguarded moments in your relationship with your dog may carry a disproportionate weight in shaping their overall sense of the emotional climate of your shared life together, considerably more so than the more neutral, routine vocal exchanges that fill the majority of an ordinary day. If this changed how you think about your dog's reaction to your laughter, share it with someone whose dog gets excited every time they hear them laugh. Leave a comment below. Does your dog respond to your laughter in a specific way? I want to hear about it. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you on the next Hidden Paw Signals. The voice and visuals in this video were created using artificial intelligence. Thank you for watching Hidden Paw Signals.